Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks. I came across a video where a young man did this, but he left out one crucial step. I don't know if he edited it out, but this is 3D engraving, and I've done a lot of 3D engraving, but I've never done it where I just had them overlapping. And if you can really see the three, it looks a little rough because it's zoomed in. It is rough. Um, 3D engraving. I don't know about all lasers, but Epilogue has a under advanced setting. You can set it for 3D, and you start with a file that looks like this. And I'm going to go through this. I've always done 3D engraving, but I've done it where they were not on top of each other. And engraving, the part that's behind this won't engrave. So I thought I'd go through this whole scenario. I'm actually going to start a new page because this is slowing down my computer. And we're going to go to common shapes or basic shapes, depending on what your version you have. And it doesn't really matter what size, but if you're going to make a pendant, I would say, like 2 by 2. Then what we need to do, I need to convert it. I'm still drawing in someone else's file, and because I draw in hairline all the time. So now we need to contour it. You cannot just make it smaller, because if you Control D and make a duplicate, and that really irritates me when somebody sends me that and it changed my settings. You can't just make a duplicate by Control D and then shrink it down, because some parts are going to be bigger than the other. So on this type of deal, you have to contour it. So we're going to go contour. We're going to contour just like 0.1 to the inside or the outside. It doesn't really matter. And you get that shape. So it made our pendant a little bit bigger. I'm going to take this. I'm going to go to Object. I'm going to ungroup the contour. And I'm going to take this outside. See what my nudge factor is. I'm going to set my nudge factor on like 3. I'm going to take my outside. And I'm going to go ahead and it's a hairline and make it red. I'm going to go ahead and put in the part to put a ribbon through or a chain through. So I'm going to take an ellipse and, okay, I'm going to change that right now. Go to your pen tool, double click, graphic, go to hairline. I like drawing in red. That signifies to me a hairline. So now when I draw with my ellipse, I get a red hairline. Now I'm going to put it right in the center, and then holding down the control button, I'm going to move it. I kind of want that shape in a way. I'm going to Control D and make a duplicate. Then by taking the pick tool, holding down the shift key, I'm going to make that smaller. So we're a little bit less than a 1/4 inch. That's probably perfect. Now, instead of welding it, I just find it's easier just to take your virtual segment delete key. I like that little cutout. Now to make it all one piece, I'm going to take the Smart Fill tool, set on any color. And what that did, now I can left click, right click, and it's all one piece instead of, so if you look here, it's a curve on layer 1. This is 3 objects. So that way we can move this thing around. Now we need to work on our 3D part. You can use almost any shape. I'm going to go back to common shapes or basic shapes, and I'm going to use the teardrop. And I'm just going to draw a teardrop, maybe make it a little bit skinnier and longer. I'm going to change the outside to white. Can't see it. Now I'm going to contour to the center, 0.001, which is the smallest you can go, in black. And I get that right there. That's my contour. It looks pretty weird right now. Maybe I'd go ahead and change it to a bitmap, grayscale. I did not do that on the other one. Sometimes it'll smooth it out a little bit. And that's maybe make it look better. Now, what I'm going to do, I've never done before. Well, I did it for my test. I'm going to take that teardrop and I'm going to start moving it and then just hold down the shift or the space bar and try to get every spot covered. You know, you can do this quite fast. They don't have to be uniformed or anything. And I hope I don't forget to put in the wordage before I go too far. So I'm just holding down I'm just moving it. And then that's a good way to copy something is just hit your space bar. And you can do this quite fast. And then go through the middle. And you can, you know, you don't have to have it completely filled in, but I think it's going to look better. And it doesn't matter how many you put. You're just going to kind of cover up all the white. All right, we're done. It looks a little weird, but it's okay. Now I need to group this together, Control G. Now, before I forget, I need to bring in my text. And I'm just going to type out the word love. I'm going to go up to Gabriola. Gabriola is a font that you can, it's an open style type font that you can change. So if we take our text tool now and cursor over it and make it blue, you get this arrow. And then you can go here and pick your love. Now, I think the best way to do this is to left click, right click, and fill this in. Fill it in with black. So I'm going to nudge it over as I do it. Then I'm going to check, make sure I got it all. I missed the O. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, while this is an outline, I'm going to go to contour. I'm going to contour 0.01 might not be enough. Well, I actually have my fill. Tell you what I'm going to do for just a second. I'm going to make a duplicate of that, and I'm going to move it up, and I'm going to left click, right click in red, just so you can see it. Now I can take it, and it won't contour. So I'm going to go to Effects, well, excuse me, go to Object with that selected, and let's try combining it. Now I can contour it. Okay, I need to go to the outside. That was the whole problem. Let's go 0.1. That's almost perfect. It's a little bit too big. 0.098. That's still a little bit big. Let's go 0.05. That's pretty good. Now, go up to Object, break the contour apart, move this. Let's get rid of this. Let's move our contour over. Let's go to Object, break the curve apart. And by moving this, we'll just have the outside and we can delete the inside. Now I need to move this over and take this and fill it in with black, but take away the outline. Okay, see how it fits in there? But we don't want to do it right now. We do want to put them together, and we want to put them inside of our heart. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Let's put it inside the heart. Now, but I want to nudge the love out of the way. What I want to do now is take the Smart Fill tool. Let's use a different color. And I'm going to fill that in. You know what? That's our outside. What did it? Oh, the inside is behind our 3D. I should have moved it. So what we might have to do is move some of them out of the way to be able to see that, well, we can see it right. Well, let me move that one out of the way and grab our heart, then move that one back. Now group this together, Control G. And what we want to do now is put these back together. Our nudge is still the same. Grab both these, and now I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Get it somewhere in the middle. Grab your love and move it out of the way. Because what this is going to do is I'm going to take my Smart Fill tool and fill that in. That made a cavity or a well. I can left click, right click. Now, I don't like using Power Clip, but this has become a frame. So I'm going to go to Effects, no, excuse me, Object, Power Clip, Place Inside Frame. And it took out that other part. Now I want to take away the outline. I don't think, if I do that, it's going to take away. No, it did it perfectly. And because we've nudged, we can nudge this right back. And then we can nudge this over. And there you go. That's all you need. You don't need this. You don't need this. This is your file. Now you can see it's a little bit bigger than, I mean, just personal preference. Now, when I run this, this is the way I would do it. I'd move my hairline out of the way. I'd move my love out of the way. And I'm going to put a board in the laser. Let's say it's this size. And I'm going to run that. I don't have a laser ever hooked up to this laptop. But on Epilogue, there's a setting for advanced. So when you go to your settings where you got, you know, your frequencies and your power, up top, it'll go to 3D engraving. And I would engrave this. I have a 60-watt Epilogue laser. I would engrave it at 50 speed, 100 power. Then I wouldn't touch it, and I'd come back at, no, excuse me, I think I'd run it at 40 speed, 100 power. Then I come back and run it at 70 speed, 100 power. Then I'm through with that. Then what I would do, I could, one, move this out of the way. Whoop. Get our graphic, move it out of the way. Bring in our love. Bring in our love. And I would run that at your normal engraving, like 60 speed, 100 power. Then I'd get rid of that. Then I'd bring in my graphic and I would cut that out. And then it looks like it's a pretty cool, I never had thought about just putting stuff on top of each other. You know, you would think that this one, the thing behind it would bleed out or, you know, print underneath it. And the white isn't really there. If we take a yellow box trick, make it yellow, go up to Object, order back a page. The white isn't actually white, it's just not there. So the engraver will not touch it, but it'll touch everything else. And you could do it without, you know, you could do it without putting the border around, but I think it looks pretty cool with the border. It kind of messes up the top a little bit where the things aren't. Anyway, give that a try. It's quite fun. And I think a pretty good looking pendant. Hope that helped. Thank you for watching.